There's been a lot of data and commentary out of JPM's earnings. For more on that, let's get to Wilfred Frost. Good morning, Wilf.
Good morning, Carl. Yeah, so the headline is that they both had decent beats on the EPS line. Why? Because the provisions for bad loans came in lower than expected, significantly lower than last quarter, most importantly. The scale of the decrease impressive, especially for JPMorgan, but it's the direction that's key. If last quarter does indeed mark the peak for provisions, then the worst will be behind the banks. Trading and investment banking revenues remain strong, up comfortably year over year, albeit down quarter over quarter after a blowout first half of the year. On the flip side, net interest income down for both banks year over year due to lower rates, albeit only just lower for Citi. For JPMorgan, down 9% year over year. Here is Jamie Dimon, though, addressing both the topics of stimulus and back to work.
First of all, I wouldn't say that policy is determinative here, because this is unprecedented times. And what we're saying is that policy will matter and will skew the odds in favor of a better outcome. So I think, the policy, obviously the Fed's doing what it can to keep markets open, but the policy on the fiscal side is to have some kind of continuation of unemployment insurance and PPP. Those are the two most vulnerable areas. So just maximize the chance that we'll have better outcomes. Getting back to work is a little bit important because if you look at cities and travel and a whole bunch of stuff, there are a lot of people who are under a lot of stress and strain who won't be able to survive another year of complete close down. So the other policy is a nuanced, rational, thoughtful return to the office done properly, which will help all those businesses support the big office towers and buildings and stuff like that. And those two things will maximize the chance of good outcome.
Both shares were higher in the pre-market, now both lower. JPMorgan's call overall, I would say, neutral in tone. Citi's call starts in 10 minutes, guys.
Hey, Wilf, just looking at some of the comments from Dimon on the buyback specifically, I hope we'll be allowed to do it before the stock goes much higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also Jen Piepszak, the CFO, saying they'd like to be able to start in the first quarter if conditions and regulations, of course, allow it. At the moment, they're restricted from doing so. I would say that Dimon overall, his tone was that stimulus will give the best chance of a good outcome as opposed to stimulus being required for a good one. And with that in mind, I got the impression that as long as the regulator allows them, they will start buying back stock as early as possible, which could be Q1. We know it won't be Q4. And as you said, he hopes that will be before the stock rallies. But it's kind of binary. One imagines when they're allowed to again, it will be because conditions have improved. And then probably the share price will already be a bit higher than it is now.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.